Chapter 2. Find a routine that works. Setting goals to help you achieve your dreams is great and all, but that's not all it takes to make them work. It's not always about breaking objectives into smaller parts or attaching deadlines to them. Sometimes all it takes is something as little and simple as finding the right routine to follow. Pause what you're doing and take a moment to look back on all your previous goals over the last 3 months or so and try to figure out what went wrong with them. Were the goals you set too vague? Did you have an adequate support system to achieve them? Did you make enough time for your dreams? Were you unable to commit to achieving the goals after starting? Whatever your answer to any of the previous questions is, it all comes down to one thing. You probably didn't set a good routine to follow. If you look back to your life, you might notice a pattern when you compare the goals you achieved to the ones you didn't. For the ones you attained, you probably had a routine that you stuck to every day or so, even without knowing that's what you were doing at the time. You'll need to understand the importance of setting a routine concerning your goal achievement before considering the particular ones to set to enable you to succeed. Our daily routine is a kind of scheduling system that transforms our dreams and the goals behind them into reality. It's why our daily habits are especially important in our lives, because when they're built around our goals, they make success possible. Our everyday routine is nothing more than a series of day-to-day habits that we engage in each time that enables us to achieve most, if not all, of our goals, which ultimately leads to the fulfillment of our dreams. Establishing routines and goals at the same time. When you dream about achieving something, it sets you on a path to create a goal. Similarly, forming a routine puts you on the road to executing that particular goal. So to show you're fully committed to attaining your dreams, you'll have to build a routine for when you'll need to work on it while you're still dreaming up the process. You don't have to wait until everything is set in stone before working on the details of the plan. You can do all that even when your dream is still in its conception stage. Don't wait or put it off until the last moment. Do it now and set the tone for your achievement this very minute. If you're worried that you'd forget to stick to the new routine you set out, you could quickly write it down on a sticky note or set a reminder on your phone. Stick with whatever method works for you. One of the most critical aspects of creating a routine is the triggers that spurs us into action. What others might consider little cues or less vital are quite essential to our successes. Let's assume that you work from 9 to 5, and when you get home, you spend at least an hour watching TV. You could decide to take out 30 minutes of that downtime to achieve your other goals. Just set the timer, tune out everything else, and make it happen. Work until your alarm goes off, and then maybe if there's still time to put in extra hours, you just have to remember not to force the process. It should come naturally to you. Set routines that fit into your schedule. After creating your routine, you need to ask yourself if it's realistic or achievable. If it's feasible, then go ahead and start working on it. But if it isn't, you might have to go back to the drawing board to fix it. Most times, this is usually the first barrier to cross before getting on to achieving your goals. If you work 10 hours a day and still have to come home and take care of your kids and their various needs, scheduling 4 more hours of work, even if it's your dream career, every day might not work for you. The sheer exhaustion and frustration wouldn't allow you to stick to that routine for more than 2 days, a week tops. Most times, we lead a hectic life, which is why it's imperative to set goals that can fit into your schedule. You need to figure out a way for everything to work out well for both you and everyone around you. If all it'll take is getting up a few hours earlier in the day or staying up later at night to make things work, then you should go for it. Try to make your routine realistic, possible, and doable. The goal shouldn't be to achieve something as quickly as possible, but to make good progress towards it. Eliminate distractions from your routine. One of the biggest problems we experience in sticking to our routines is all the distractions that surround us daily. Several things pop up regularly to sidetrack us from our goals. It could be staying up later than our bedtime at night to complete an episode of our favorite show, which results in our waking up late the following morning, to getting distracted by social media. Make sure to do whatever you need to do to make it happen. even if it means creating a quiet place to work and picking out a favorite mug to feel relaxed. We achieve our goals through execution, which in turn is driven by creating a practical, focused, and deliberate routine that's free from excuses, distractions, and obstacles. They also need to work within our schedules to be able to achieve them. The pursuit and achievement of our goals require sufficient effort, and effort occurs as a result of the time we set aside for it. You can only do this when your schedule is adjustable and you follow a routine religiously. If your itinerary is already filled with different activities, you might have to consider trimming it down to make things work for you. Pause for a moment and think about the goals you've set during your life. Are they recent or old ones? Are the goals work-related or do they relate to your personal life? What's stopping you from accomplishing them? Is my already bloated schedule preventing me from fulfilling my dreams? Initially, you might have assumed that the goals or your commitment to them were too lofty, when perhaps it just had to do with the fact that you never created a routine that propelled you towards completing them. It's not too late to rectify your mistakes. Cut some unnecessary items from your list and free up more room for new activities that would get you a step closer to achieving your dreams.